Okay, so here's our second variation on a correction for a high ilium. So let's say you have a client who it's really painful for them to have that level of internal rotation and flexion. Maybe they have a torn labrum, or maybe they have an artificial hip. Well, this is a great choice to do with that population. Or let's say that you have a guy or a woman who's 6'5" and you're my height, 5'3". I'm probably not going to use this variation on them because that leg is probably going to be bigger than me. So I would go to door number 1. So choose which one works better for the client and for you. Now, I've also had situations where a client has responded better to one than the other. So that's why I like to offer you several to have in your toolbox. So for this variation, the high ilium side is up, okay? So she's lying on the opposite side. She had a high right ilium. She's lying on her left side. We've positioned the bottom leg in an L position, so she's stable, and the hip, the knee, and the foot, neck, and shoulder are lined up, okay? This is a very simple move that involves tractioning the ilium away from the rib cage, and it usually feels fabulous. So all the traditional MET procedures apply here. I take my fingers and grab that ilium and I'll simply distract. Now I will show you a variation for people who are a little taller and have bigger hands than I do. But for this is the first possibility for you. So we traction to the end range. Now we're going to be using abduction as the movement. So on your next exhale, Janet, you're going to gently lift that leg up. I'm using my humerus, my upper arm, to give her a little gentle pressure. Remember, we're sticking to somewhere between 10 to 15%, and relax, let it drop. And notice how I have some of her leg hanging off the table. That's so I can get a little bit more traction here. Don't do anything till I tell you to. We just let it be here. This is our 10 to 15 second hold at the new end range. So you may be saying, why are we using abduction? Well, because the QL gets involved in abduction. It's got to raise the ilium, hike it up in order for abduction to occur. But the muscle that fires first should be gluteus medius. For a lot of people, it's QL. So this is a good opportunity to test that. Okay, Janet, you can raise that leg up again. I'm applying a little pressure with my upper arm. 5, 6, 7, 8, relax. Breath. We go to the next end range. I increase that distraction. I'm in a nice squat here. It's actually quite comfortable for me. My shoulders are anchored, scapular anchored, so I do not feel any strain on my shoulders. And one last time. Jenny, you're going to lift up. Relax. Breathe. Don't do anything. How's that feeling, Janet? Better. Good. Okay, again, we slowly want to come out of this. So for those of you who are taller than I and have bigger hands, you certainly can stand at the head of the table towards her head, use one hand to traction the other hand, and she would go ahead and just lift up a little bit. I won't show the whole thing. And relax, and then increase the traction. So this is another possibility. Same correction, works just as good. Just depends on how tall you are and how long you reach.